Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and today we're going to be taking a look at 5 more factions I think we should touch up, maybe add a new character here or there to lift up, change a few things about it, rework a few of the mechanics, just basically a few other factions I think that we need to change up in the game. Now I will say that when you go back, I did a few months ago make a video about the part, but basically this is a part 2 to this video right here. Top 5 Galaxy of Heroes factions CGs needs to rework in 2024. And here we talked about the Jedi faction, how that works, Imperial Remnants, Wookiees, Separatists, and Clone Troopers. I'm not going to be mentioning those factions in this video. This is a part 2 to that video. If you're curious, go check out what I have to say. This is 5 more factions I think could use a little bit of a touch-up. Basically, one character added to lift something up, or I don't know, bring more variety, basically, into the game. Before we get too far into this, make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content just like this. And, well, let's get started. So first up, I think the biggest faction I might have missed out on, or one of the biggest factions that was mentioned from the last video, is the Old Republic. Now, Old Republic, here you have Jedi Knight Revan, Bastila, Jolee, they have their homes. Sortie, they kind of end up going on their own team, or maybe Rey, and then Juhani kind of ends up going on like Starkiller or something along those lines. But Karth and T3, I mean, those guys don't really have much going on. These two that we get in the Lightspeed bundles don't really have that much going on for them, right? And I think we should change this. I think you should put Karth, T3, M4, Zalbar, and Mission. I think you should add Satele, which is, I think, Bastila's mom, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's her daughter. I think it's her mom. Basically, I think you should put her in the game and just supercharge this Karth thing going on here. I think, Candyman, he's got his own thing with the mall, so you can leave him there. Hopefully they rework that as well, but that's not something I really mentioned in this video. I guess that's something I could mention in the video, is not really, this isn't really part of my top 5 list, but I would like to see Canderous moved back over here. But Karth, T3M4, Zalbar, Mission, I think they can come together to make a pretty awesome Old Republic team with Satele Shan, a big character in Old Republic stuff, and I'd really love to see it. I'd love to see it. There's a lot of, I feel like this faction is a little bit underutilized, and really, I see these 4, they don't have a 5th member to this team, so I'd love to see Satele lift them up, actually make them a good, usable team, have everyone in this faction have really a place, and not really leave just Karth and T3 behind. Now, I know Zalbar and Mission technically can kind of be thrown on a Wookiee team, but Wookiees, I feel like it's more of like an end game thing. Not very many people are going for Wookiees. It's very out of the way. Individually, the characters aren't very good, so I don't really feel like Wookiees is a huge push for people. And I think that adding Satele would push people to upgrade Zalbar, and then Zalbar would have multiple places. And then, yeah, I think that just opens up a lot more options for us in the game. So, Old Republic, that's what I'd love to see. Number 2, Jawas. Now, Jawas are fun, right? Jawas are fun. This is actually a passion project farm of mine I would like to do. Obviously, I'm not really getting around to it anytime soon, but I'd love to do the Jawas. I think it'd be a really fun team. I think we should add in the Jawa from the Mandalorian. That guy, I mean, the brown robes with the red eyes, I think, or not brown, the gray robes with the red eyes. I think that would go really, really well in the game here. And I'd love to see make the Jawas a little bit more, give them a little more oof, you know what I mean? Make them more survivable, really, is that kind of their issue. They have their thermals out there, and if they survive long enough, they can do some nasty damage. But the issue is, sometimes they don't survive long enough. So, I think a new Jawa character to revitalize this faction would be really, really fun. And with all this new Mando content that I'm sure is going to be coming to the game after it comes to the Star Wars in the next few years when they get that movie. I mean, I think there's no reason that a new Jawa can't be a requirement for a new Galactic Legend or a Legendary or whatever. So I'd love to see a Jawa lift up the Jawas here. Next up, we have the Inquisitors. Now, this is interesting because the Inquisitors are good, but the issue is the Inquisitors might be a little too good, and some of it's a very hard grind to get into, and I would like to see more. Ever since we got really Grand Inquisitor into the game, there's been so many more Inquisitors added to Star Wars canon. There is the Merrick. There is the Merrick from Ahsoka. There's the guy that Ahsoka kills in Tales of the Jedi. There's Barriss, obviously. There's the 4th sister. That's one of the biggest ones that comes to me. Those characters are like, there's 4 characters right there. You doubled your team. If you use Reva and Grand Inquisitor, you split them up to their own teams, you have 2 Inquisitor teams now. I would love to see Grand Inquisitor and Third Sister get a little bit split up, have every character in here have a little bit of a use, you know what I mean? I think a second wave Inquisitors would not hurt as. I would think it'd be really fun to just see how many more Inquisitors we can put in the game, because there's actually so many of them. There's a lot of Inquisitors. There's like what, 13 Inquisitors or something like that. There's a lot of Inquisitors. I'd love to see some more variety when it comes to that. Next up, this one might be a hot take here. Bad Batch. Bad Batch is good, but I think for a lot of people they're starting to fall out of favor. I think people are really used to countering them a lot more. I mean, a lot of people are like debating doing it for Marauder, which is really good, but Omega is just... I like Omega in the show. Not a huge fan of Omega from what I've seen in the game. Obviously, I don't have it unlocked or activated because not a huge fan of what I've seen. When I get these guys up, I might use Shock T in this spot instead of Omega, but I really think it's shocking to me that we have not gotten Crosshair in this game. You would have thought this would have been a no-brainer. I would have thought this last week they would have announced Crosshair instead of Obi-Wan. That's what I would have assumed. Crosshair is in the game's files. The Bad Batch, I mean, people are figuring out how to counter it. It's a Cairo-heavy farm. Adding Crosshair in here to replace Omega for the Bad Batch squad, revitalizing the team, getting a new push for people to invest into the Bad Batch and get a lot of money for CG through Cairo Tech and all that. I don't know. I really just think that Crosshair is a no-brainer. And I mean, not even just that. You can add Season 2 versions of the Bad Batch. You can add Imperial Crosshair and Republic Crosshair. And you can add the Season 3 appearances at the end, like this last half of Season 3. Well, no spoilers, but you could add that appearance as well. There's so much they could do with this faction. I know they probably won't do it, but at the bare minimum, I'd love to see Crosshair. I'd love to see Crosshair. And last up here is the Ufus. This is basically guaranteed to come in the next few years. But the Malicos Seer team, it's basically Seer, Malicos. You got Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. You can put Cal Kestis in there. You can put, I see lots of like Rey requirements in there. I would like to see Baylan and Shin from Ahsoka. I think that's a no-brainer. That's going to be coming. But I figured I'd mention it in this video because I'd like to see Ufus get fleshed out more. Because there is a lot of good stuff here. It's not like the Ufus are bad at anything. The issue that I have with the Ufus anyways is that there's a lot of overlap with some other teams. Obviously, because, I mean, there's light side, dark side, just kind of a tag combined, right? So I would really like to see more just Ufu characters like Baylan, like Shin, to fill out this Malicos team. I think that'd be really great. I'm very, very excited to see Baylan in the game. I think this would be a great character. But let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comment section down below. Did you guys agree? I did kind of talk about Mandalorians as well for Maul. I guess I can throw this in as like a bonus one. I do think having like Gar Saxon and like actual Mandalorians would be pretty cool in the game instead of using Jango and Canderous. But I don't know. Basically, what do you guys think about this? These few ideas I've thrown out in this video. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one.